Dice Throne Adventures was published in 2020 by Roxley Games. It was designed by Gavin Brown, Nate Chatelier, and Manny Tremblay, and illustrated by Gavin Brown, Damien Maliti, and Manny Tremblay. 1 to 4 players fight monsters on a map before facing the big baddie and leveling up in between sessions. Players go through their turns like in Dice Throne, so I'll add up my reviews to those games at the end of this video so you can get a feel for the mechanisms. Instead of fighting each other, this is a cooperative game where you'll either fight monsters individually on the map or team up. Either way, you'll complete a few goals, then join forces against the big boss. As you explore, you open treasure chests with loot cards that can be added to your deck or even upgrade existing cards. No characters come in this game. You need existing Dice Throne characters and their decks. To break it down, explore, fight, and cooperate against increasingly tougher enemies in increasingly larger dungeons during a campaign. That's Dice Throne Adventures. Our games of Dice Throne Adventures, including Setup and Takedown, average just under 2 hours. Because this game is highly luck-based, games could take more or less time. I talk about this in What Do I Think? You need 3 feet by 5 feet for the portal crawl mode and 3 feet by 4 feet for boss battles. Square or rectangular tables work best. A 7-year-old would be fine with the simpler characters' combat rules, but the Dungeon Crawler editions mean this is probably best saved for experienced 8 or 9-year-old gamers. Having a solid understanding of regular Dice Throne is essential to playing this. The more players you have, the longer this will take. I think 3 is the absolute maximum I want, and even then. Most of Dice Throne Adventures' components come from Dice Throne Season 1 and or 2, so components range from excellent to good. The rulebook is pretty good with a ton of examples, although you may have to look up a few things on BoardGameGeek. There is a lot of downtime in this game, especially compared to how fast regular Dice Throne feels. Adults could be bored, so expect younger players to be twitchy. Even if there weren't other flaws, this is a pretty major issue that brought down our excitement quickly. Gameplay is boring. In a portal crawl, you move a tile or more, then fight. Move a tile or more, then fight again. You occasionally get a boost or other goodie, but compared to Ultra Quest, lead monsters into an ambush or trap, experience real teamwork, and a real story comes out of your place. Perdition's Mouth Abyssal Rift is a brilliant Euro-style strategy game that's all about surviving impossible odds. Both of these are exciting, have strong solo and co-op gameplay, and have a narrative that unfolds as you play. You have many memorable moments pop up when playing. Here, I couldn't find even one memorable thing to talk about in storytime. Even the actual boss fights themselves are worse versions than Aeon's End, which is a deeper game overall. There's a lot of luck and randomness, but there are multiple ways to mitigate it, so at least the game has that going for it. On the other hand, because this game is highly luck-based, there's a ton of replayability. The setup, gameplay, and rewards are very random. Some will love this, and others not so much. The loot system is the best part of the game. As you gain rewards from defeated enemies and chests, you don't know what rewards you'll get. Roll that d20 loot die and see what happens. You always get something good. You might even get a salve, which are vital to winning. You start with some salves, and you can earn more as you go. These can be spent to heal you or revive a downed teammate. Some characters can even upgrade salve's healing powers. Dice Throne Adventures moves Dice Throne's famous dice battle system to dark, monster-filled dungeons. It has a few good ideas, but they don't come together as well as any of us expected. It's a weak cooperative game, and a slow, uninteresting dungeon crawler that feels like and takes much longer than it should. It lacks a compelling narrative, either from a pre-made story or one that grows as you play. Dice Throne is great, and I recommend grabbing at least one player versus player box to see why I recommend it highly. Want a dungeon crawler? Perdition's Mouth. Ultra Quest had issues too. I think it's best as a solo game, but it's better than this. Want a co-op boss battler? I strongly suggest Aeon's End.